Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie Wood. I'm at the University of Tulsa as a professor of marketing. I wanted to just thank you for the invitation to come and be virtual with you today, and also for the invitation from Dr. Reddy to join you. When I saw the theme of the conference, one particular question came to mind, one that my school and our college has been wrestling with. How can universities develop a sustainable competitive advantage in such accelerating and dynamic times? The news is full of change, and business colleges need to respond. This sort of question is really key for small universities, and we've seen in the news many universities closing. I was reminded of a favorite quote by Yogi Berra, who said, "The future ain't what it used to be." That is, everything has changed over time. The challenge today, though, is that things are accelerating faster than ever. And our mandate to prepare college students for that future is really upon us and needs attention. So as I was looking around about, how to investigate accelerating trends, I came across the usual things about, climate change and about hunger and about, migration and refugees and a lot of the issues that our world deals with. I also came across some positive news, some trends that show that the world is really increasingly getting better in some ways. For example, polio, vaccines. This book, The Future is Faster Than You Think, was especially informative to me. I recommend it to you if you're interested in a more innovative, entrepreneurial, positive way of looking at the dynamics of our world. Another was this book, Digital Transformation, which was trying to make AI a little less scary and a little more about just another adaptation that we're making to our changing world. When you look at data, we can't get into each of these topics, but just look at the general trends on these. Poverty is on the decline. Basic education is on the rise. Literacy is on the rise. Democracy is on the rise. Vaccination is very much on the rise. And child mortality is on the decline. These are all good trends in good directions. Global life expectancy has experienced a huge jump in the last few hundred years. So over time, the average life expectancy was, 20 or 25 or 30, and now it's much, much higher. That's an exponential trend. And then there's something called signals that occur when certain organizations or people begin to have some success in working with a technology, and together sometimes it gains momentum. And in this case, information and data have really accelerated in its volume. Big data is a fairly common phrase for us nowadays. Gene editing, the cost of gene editing is coming way down, making it much easier to do important healthcare applications. Sustainable investing is on the rise. Connected health and the ability to get better healthcare is on the rise. Supercomputer power is hugely on the rise, as we know. Frictionless retail, these are trends just in the product market space. Meatless meat is increasing. There's just so many of these changes going on. Sometimes it's difficult to even bring up the idea of how does a business or an entrepreneur or an innovator operate when things are changing so fast. I prepared a short table just from a quick review, really, of many of the changes that are going on. And here's what I came up with. So they can be categorized like this: computing, big data, security, digital currencies, blockchain, CRISPR, gene editing, synthetic biology, significant global demographic trends, AI, of course, international competition for water, decentralization of media, electrification of everything, the rapid rise of personalized healthcare, and the aging of our global population and the space race that's now happening. So these are from several sources. I'm happy to provide this to you. Jack Welch once famously said, if the rate of change on the outside of an organization exceeds the rate of change on the inside, the end is near. And I think it's safe to say that higher education hasn't been particularly quick to adapt and lead on some of these areas, and really needs to change more quickly and adapt more quickly. We see reports like this in the management education domain where certain jobs are at risk of automation. We've seen this for several years, actually many years. And we've seen other areas about the future of work where technological skills are going to be a lot more important, but also the human interaction skills and the EQ, if you will, of our interactions, with less attention being given to physical skills and basic cognitive skills, but more of the higher level skills. This is good news for higher education. Now, at my university, a small university, we have 5 different colleges. We have arts and sciences, business, engineering, law, and health. And each of the global trends that I showed you just now actually touch on each of these colleges in different ways. So it's an interdisciplinary challenge. Universities really need to take a much more interdisciplinary focus on particular areas they want to prepare students for. My background personally is interdisciplinary, and so I'm more sensitive to this perhaps. So back to our question, how can a small university develop a sustainable competitive advantage in such accelerating times? Well, at the University of Tulsa, we've tried something in our College of Business. We adopt a future-focused mindset and try to instill that in students. We've made some curricular updates, or we're trying at least, and I can show you an example. And we have a co-curricular update, and I can show you an example of that as well. So the future proofing of our students, that future-focused mindset, is based on this idea that every major industry on our planet is about to be completely reimagined. You might think that's a fairly far-flung statement, but when you consider all the things that are happening and how quickly they're changing, I think we can agree that there are some significant changes ahead. This represents opportunities for our students, and the future will be different for them in 3 years, 4 years, whenever they graduate. And we have to work hard to try to help them at least get up to speed. So future proofing means developing skills that computers can't develop. And these are those interpersonal skills like the EQ areas that I presented earlier. There's also some research to show that corporate foresight does have a significant positive impact on companies' bottom line. So perhaps this lens that we're talking about here, this lens that we can see management education through, can also help companies ultimately succeed. It's not just let's adapt to the outside world. No, it's about improving and sustaining and creating a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So the working theory that I've been going on is that innovation opportunities occur at the intersection of trends. So human trends and technological trends. And in the curricular side, I've tried using this theory to teach and change the way I teach about the influences of the external environment on business strategy, practice, and innovation. This is a fairly standard model. Maybe you've seen it in many of your textbooks, maybe you've used it yourself, But we talk about these external forces acting on, for example, in this case, the marketing area with the target market at the center. And as we talk about these, we talk about Porter's five forces, we talk about healthcare and healthier lifestyles. We talk about legislation as examples of all of these five different areas: quantum computing, inflation. These are typically how it's presented in a book, and then it moves on. But it's more nuanced than that. And I think given the nature of change in our world, I think we need an updated version. So what I used to do in class was I would present this, give examples of all these forces, and then say in teams of 2 or 3, work in groups and develop as many new product ideas as you can for these 4 companies. And the ideas that you come up with should reflect how that company is responding to an external force. It could be a competitive force, a technological force, a sociocultural force, but think about each company and how they're addressing it and come up with innovations for them. Now, I've changed this exercise to include interactions among trends, which I think is more helpful. In fact, if you think about the target market, that changes too. This assumes a sort of static setup, and no changes are really occurring inside the target, but we know that changes very quickly. In fact, what I do is I show them all these different trends that are going on for human needs. So the competition for water, urbanization, healthcare for aging population, poverty, mental health needs, etc. And I show them a second list that's about all these external trends: artificial intelligence, VR and AR, political change, increasing diversity, new materials, declining cost of solar energy. And then I ask them to put them together, blend. And I do it through this. This is probably a simpler way to explain it. So there's that same list of human needs. Here's the same list of external trends. And I ask them to say, just consider how these things may interact. Think about increasing competition for water, this increasing need among humans for desalination, for example. And could the declining cost of solar energy allow desalination to happen more easily, more quickly, and make fresh water more available? What about the need for data security? Could quantum computing help us with that? What about affordable housing? Could that large-scale 3D printing help us? I think we know examples of this already happening. What about our aging population and healthcare? Could robotics and the home healthcare change in that regard? And when we have to feed 8 billion people on the planet, could AI help us with farming practices? This is just an example. And if you crossed all of these with each other, you'd have 150 different possible innovations, or at least things to think about related to potential innovations. So on the co-curricular side, we've made an update as well. So we want to engage students not just in the classroom, but outside of the classroom about these trends and help them with the future of work and preparing for that future. And in the area of accelerating acceleration, which is what I've been trying to describe, the word jolt comes up. And it's actually a term from physics. The main term is called jerk. We didn't think that would be a very good title to use. So we went with jolt. And jolt reflects a type of disruption too. So jolt became a focal point for co-curricular activities in our college, focusing on innovation, entrepreneurship, and the future of work. And when we describe it, basically we say it helps students learn how to adapt to and prepare for a rapidly changing world. We have lots of different events. Sometimes they're competitions. Sometimes they're just workshops. They're speakers. There's many different types of things. I'd be happy to share our Future of series or any of these ideas with you. This is an example of the flyers that go out. We have, just essentially lots of different activities that we try to get students thinking about, like how to upgrade their education and prepare better for a future. Just this month, we have a personal branding workshop. We have a student panel with entrepreneurs. We have an idea-a-thon scheduled, and we bring in speakers that are compelling. So the outcomes of this co-curricular effort have been pretty good. In year one, we had about 200 students that engaged with our activities. Now, for our school, that's big. That's about 2% of the total population, and in first year with a new center and a new effort like this, we thought that was pretty good. 21 new freshmen, that was big for us too. That represented probably about a 10% or 15% increase in enrollments, which was significant and really helpful. And the management major is now the largest in the business college because a lot of these programs are happening within the management department. And we've had some successful student startups too. A couple of examples. One, LE Grid. This was something that some students came up with some time ago to help people remember to take their medications or their vitamins or whatever, and it alerts them, and it's also connected to the physician. Skin Check is one that's very recently come to the fore about using your phone, this app on the phone, to scan skin lesions or areas of your skin that might be suspect for melanoma. And both of these actually been invited to pitch at several events, and most recently at South by Southwest for Skin Check. So I want to close here with a encouragement to make management education more future focused and designed to future proof our students a little bit better. And we're just at the very front end of trying to develop curricular and co-curricular ways to help prepare our students in that way. And that has helped us recruit. It's helped us create at least the beginning of a sustainable competitive advantage, we believe. So this quote here I thought was appropriate. The ability to learn faster than competitors may be the only sustainable competitive advantage. And that's kind of what we're trying to teach our students to do. Thank you again for your time, and thanks for the invitation. Again, my name is Charles Wood at University of Tulsa. Please reach out if you'd like to learn more.